All right, everybody, we are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. And I have a special guest, very dynamic guest. Love it when the brother comes on. You know, brother Dave Anderson, the business bully, is on with us tonight. As you guys enter the chat or start as you guys watch and start viewing the stream, please hit that like button. Don't be greedy with them likes. Please hit that like button. But tonight's topic is being woke does not equal, should not equal being broke. Now you get these I don't know, I want to call them, I don't want to call them, should I call them YouTube, Facebook revolutionaries? I don't know what to call them, Dave.
Well, I don't even know, brother.
I don't know I don't know how to label them, but you know, the brothers that have 6 trillion years of knowledge, right? 6 trillion years from we was Anunnaki to we built the pyramids to we brought kung fu to Japan, and we was the samurais, and you know we O's, and we the original Native Americans, Indian,
right?
Them, right? We
Yes, indeed.
We taught the Europeans how to bathe, you know, because they was bathed, you know.
Well,
that team. So that team, right? But for some reason, they have an issue, Dave. If you have some type of business and you're making money, the white man's money, you know.
Oh, okay.
Right. If you're participating in capitalism, you're a sellout. Not real.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
Supposed to have it's like being woke to a lot of these brothers. It's equals you have to have a struggle fetish.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know, the man has to keep his foot on your neck. You know, money's no good, capitalism is no good. But brother, can I get a donation so I can pay my T-Mobile bill? You know.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of them running around.
Yeah.
You know, these great spiritual Negro activists. Hotep, brothers and sisters. You know, I've been in the hit documentary. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Hotep. And what tends to happen, you know, from my perspective is this. Let's take black people completely off the map for a moment.
Right.
Allow me to give your audience a bit of a history lesson.
Go ahead.
Okay. In the year of our Lord, and I use that term loosely, 1776, around the 4th of July, bunch of white men who were land-owning, business-owning capitalists who owned slaves, basically our ancestors, decided to come together because they no longer wanted to pay taxes to the King of England.
Correct.
It's not that they didn't have the money. It's not that they didn't have wealth. It's not that they didn't have resources. It's not that they were struggling. It's just that they did not want to pay money to an individual that was not helping them further their own agenda. And so they decided to declare independence. And when they declared independence, what you now classify as a Revolutionary War broke out. I'm sure everybody learned that in 5th grade, along with we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. So, having said that 5th grade lesson and giving you the preamble for the document that, when it was written, did not have me and you in mind, you have to ask yourself the important question that doesn't get asked in 5th grade. If, in fact, they wanted freedom, how is it that Washington and Adams and Jefferson and Franklin and Hancock managed to beat the most elite army in the history of the world since the Roman Empire? The answer is they had their bread together and they had their heads together. So what they did was they went on a social campaign, got all those farmers and gave them weapons, got all this militia and gave them weapons. They made sure that they paid everybody to make the cannonballs, and they went and imported a bunch of gunpowder from China, and they started blasting holes in the king's army. And Israel Thistle made the trip, one if by land, two if by sea, but y'all call him Paul Revere because Paul Revere basically made a 10-mile trip, but he gets the credit because Paul Revere sounds a lot better than Israel Thistle. But the point in all that is, my brother, whether you are black, white, Chinese, or one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater who sure looks scary to me, if you want a revolution, you got to cut a check.
Right.
So I'm going to give you some numbers. 27 million. Do you know what 27 million is?
No.
That is the amount of money my clients, 95% of which are black women, have made in 2018. They're black.
Well, hold on, brother Anderson. See, they make it 27 million, brother. In the capitalistic society, the devil that capitalism was started from slavery, brother. And capitalism is no good, brother. That's the devil's money, brother. They can't make that. 27 million is greedy. They greedy, brother. What they spread that wealth, brother. See, we don't need the white man's capitalism, brother, but we need the white man's socialism, brother.
Okay, let's talk about your socialism for a minute. All you magical Bernieites, all you tree hugging liberals who, love Miss Hillary. Oh, y'all love Massa Bill. Oh Lord, the Clintons so wonderful. Oh, I love Barack Obama. Well, let's ask ourselves some real questions here. If Bernie Sanders and the quote unquote communists, socialists, cared that much about you, why is it that Bernie Sanders went on record and said he would never give black people reparations because reparations were divisive? And then in the same year that he was running for president, he also signed off on reparations for Jewish people for World War II from America, as if America damaged Germany, as if America put them in ovens, if America put them in gas chambers. Last I checked, we came to help. And it was the Russians who got them out of the war, because America came at the last minute. So the Russians really won World War II, and we just went in there to say that we were in there because we're a superpower, and that's what we do at the last minute. We take credit. Don't you love Captain America? So my question to you is, name me something that socialism has done to better black people in America. I'm waiting.
They'll bring up, well, the here we go. This is one of the rebuttals. The Black Panther Party were socialist communists, so that's an example. That's what they'll bring.
That's what they bring up. Okay, so let's talk about this though. The Black Panther Party actually did what most of these hotep ass dashiki wearing, Nag Champa burning Negroes won't do. They fed the children. They supplemented education, meaning that what the kids were getting in school was one thing, but what they got out of school was another. They actually protected the community with their lives until being infiltrated by COINTELPRO. But before that happened, they were actually out with guns. How come if you're such a damn revolutionary, I don't see you strapped? How come if you're such a revolutionary, George Zimmerman's still alive?
Right.
How come if you're such a revolutionary and you want to impact change and whatnot, I don't see any hotep woke ass political action committees. Oh, that's right, because y'all don't believe in participating in the political process. You just believe in critiquing it. See, the political process is not going to the voting booth. The political process is cutting the check to make sure that your person gets in office, and then that person is indebted to you and your agenda, so that when something comes up, you can then make a move. I will give you a real world example. A few months ago in Starbucks, two gentlemen were told that they had to leave, and they were arrested because one of them wanted to take a piss. They weren't violent. They were peaceful. When that happened and it broke out on social media, I got on the phone and I made a call. Do you know who I called?
Who?
I called Councilman Kenyatta Johnson. Now, why did I call Councilman Johnson? For two reasons. Number one, I have an 11-year standing relationship with the man. Number two, I financially contribute to his campaign. Number three, I go when I speak on his behalf to youth, to organizations, wherever I can, to make sure that he's okay. You want to know why? I'm not in his district, but my big brother is. And my big brother is the only family I have in the city. So if something happens in my big brother's district, I want to make sure that my big brother is safe. You see what I'm saying? So my reasons are very, very selfish, but I also understand that in South Philadelphia, there are not a lot of black folks, and the black folks that are there in South Philadelphia usually get downtrodden. If it's not by the regular white folks, then it's by the Italian white folks who may or may not have mob ties because they're connected. So the only way for me to make sure that my family is okay is to make sure that my interests are met. So I picked up a phone and he says, "You know what, Dave, I'm on it. I'll talk to you in a few." An hour and a half later, he was on TV talking about what they was going to do and how Starbucks was coming down here to meet. See, that's the difference between me and the average bear. I actually write a check. To quote the immortal Sean Combs, "Don't worry if I write rhymes. I write checks." I don't see y'all participating in anything. I don't see y'all making anything better. But y'all got marks, coming out your mouth and Bernie up your ass. But I don't see you doing anything.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm not going to apologize for working because I don't remember when I was homeless and I had to stay in my brother's garage. Any of these woke Hotep Nag Champa incense burning ass Negroes coming to give me any help. I don't remember any of them coming to cut me a check. I still don't see any of them helping or volunteering to participate with Black Boys Win.
Right.
So until you're doing something, all you're doing is thumb thugging and jaw jacking.
Repeat that again.
Until you're doing something, all you're doing is thumb thugging and jaw jacking. So you're insignificant in my world. See, the problem with black folks is we think we got to embrace all black people, and we don't. Just because you my color don't mean you my kind. And Dynas, you've been to the motherland. I've been to the motherland. Most of them hotep ass Negroes ain't ever been out of their state.
Right.
Don't know what it means to go through customs. They never had a passport, let alone had one stamped. So what can they tell me about Africa that I haven't experienced firsthand?
What they read from a book.
Oh, okay, cool. That's what we're doing now. We going to Encyclopedia Britannica. We googling images of Africa and talking about how it is there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. But no, I am conscious because I choose to be conscious, and woke is an abbreviation for consciousness. And you know what the opposite of being woke is? Unconsciousness.
Right.
Meaning that you are willfully asleep and you don't like the sound of the alarm clock. So you hit the snooze button on your people, you hit the snooze button on your obligations, you hit the snooze button on any forward motion, and you want to talk to me about how black capitalism is bad. Black capitalism isn't bad. Nothing is bad until you do it for the wrong reasons. But I digress.
So what about this? So this notion, someone in the chat room says capitalism is deadly. Capitalism is racism. Malcolm X said that you can't have racism without capitalism.
Okay.
When people make it's like that, how would you respond?
Here's how I respond. Malcolm X said a lot of things. The question is, did he say it before or after he came back from Mecca? That's one. Number two, if I recall, when he came back from Mecca, he started Muslim Mosque Incorporated. Also, he said white people can't join us, but they can help us. So, if in fact you're talking about the same person who knows that he did not view white people the way he did when he got off the plane than he did when he got on the plane, which Malcolm are you talking about? One. Number two, on top of that, he didn't have any problem accepting white dollars in the end and understanding that it's going to take a coalition of folks to deal with it. Now, I am black. 95% of my clientele is black. My lawyer is a black woman. My accountants are black women. My graphic designer is a black woman. Trying to think. My assistant is a black woman. My chief of staff is a black woman. I don't see y'all hiring your own, but y'all talking shit. And at the end of the day, what would they have me do? What's the alternative to me getting myself in a position where I'm completely autonomous? I don't have a boss. I close 5-figure deals in sweats, as evidenced by what I'm wearing now. So if I'm closing 5-figure deals in sweats while Peppa Pig is playing in the background and my daughter is taking a very comfortable nap,
that's a good
what is
life.
the alternative? Because when I was homeless, I didn't hear y'all say anything other than, "Oh, brother, you need to read this, eat this bean pie, and then come listen to Brother Umbuku, X,
Right.
spit me some shit that ain't gonna help me none." So, what is your alternative? What does that alternative look like? I'm all ears. But yeah, don't go quoting Malcolm X when you can't quote the man in his totality. And Malcolm X was just fine. And the government let Malcolm X do whatever he wanted to do until such time as he talked about, you know, dealing with well-meaning white folks who wanted to help further his cause. Then he had to go. The same way Martin Luther King was fine, nonviolent, until he started talking about how Vietnam was a problem and black people needed to unionize, and that when he went back to DC, he was going to get our check, and he didn't want to send his people, integrate them into a burning building. Then he had to go. So, like, don't start quoting me, you know, civil rights figures that you Googled to come up with some nonsense. Because last I checked, if y'all was really about that life, how come you ain't in Liberia? If you was really about that life, then how come you just don't pick up where Garvey left off? Oh, but see, Garvey had to tell y'all to get the money first.
Right.
So that's why you don't want to bring up Garvey. So let's talk about a random ass Malcolm X quote that you could have pulled out of a bean pie fortune cookie. What else you got?
Bro, I might come up with some bean pie fortune cookies.
I think it's a need. I think. Listen, I just want 20% of the gross profit.
A bean pie fortune cookie, but that sounds hella good.
That's what they are. Because I mean, think about it, bro. All they do is sit around like a bunch of Negro Confuciuses on the internet with 280 characters. You know, one of the wax philosophic about business, and they ain't never ran a business. How many $1 million businesses have you run, Donis?
I haven't ran any.
Okay, cool. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm at 5. I'm at 5 in my career. I just turned 40 last year. So you can't tell me shit about business if A, you've never stepped into it by yourself, B, you've never built an infrastructure, C, you've never created something that somebody wanted to buy. D, you can't tell me something about some place you've never been or can't experience for yourself because you don't have the skill set, the infrastructure, or the knowledge to get there. So, again, I say to you, what are you talking about?
So, Dave, where did this? We got to break packages. Where did this idea of being woke, you need to be broke? Where does this originate from? Do you know? Like, where does this come?
I know exactly where it comes from.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you exactly where it comes from.
Go ahead.
Let's break this down. Now, this part is going to piss your chat room off, but
no. I'm for it. Oh, they'll get over it. Go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much. So 95%, and I'm using a random ass number to illustrate the majority. This isn't an actual statistic. But the majority of things that we accept as mainstream black culture was decided by 6 Jewish men. So let's break this down for a minute. Whenever there is something that is profitable or has the potential for profitability, white people co-opt it. And then they diminish the actual movement to keep it from making profit without them making profit. Let me ask you this. With the exception of the Beastie Boys, how many Jewish rappers do you know?
Drake. Does Drake count? He's half. Does he count?
No, because he's black. One drop rule.
Okay.
That's like saying Ronda Rousey isn't black, and we know that she is.
Okay.
So what?
Machine Gun Kelly Jewish?
Is Machine Gun Kelly Jewish? I'm not sure.
My
point is this: the Jews don't spend their time working on their bars. They spend their time passing the bar. Because they're there to.
You got to repeat that again. I'm sorry.
Okay, Jews don't spend time working on their bars. They spend their time passing the bar. In other words, they become lawyers. So that they can become managers and agents. So why do you think Rubenstein and Rabinowitz, you know, are always, you know, Artie Stiefel and Randy Phillips, you know, Clive Davises of the world? Do you think? Like, I ain't heard Clive Davis play one note.
No.
Ahmed Erdogan, very nice man, God rest his soul. I don't recall him playing a note. He did write Mess Around for Ray Charles, but that was just because he had an idea, you know, had a delicatessen. But other than that, they are in the business of taking your talent and managing it. You see, y'all didn't hear it when Farrakhan told you, so I'm going to tell you. Because the difference between me and Farrakhan was a calypso singer, and then he got his head right.
Right.
I ain't never been no calypso singer, but I have I've sung backgrounds for Levert. I've sung backgrounds for Teddy Pendergrass. I've been on tour. I've had record deals. I grew up in the music industry. And I will tell you for a fact, every record that you hear on the radio is not requested, it's selected. The record companies have ad dates, which are dates that they want you to put records in rotation as the radio station so that they can get a certain amount of spin, so they can sell a certain amount of records. Digital, CD, it doesn't matter the means of production. It just matters that they have a plan in place that you are not in control of. So even if you're a black person like Kathy Hughes or her son Alfred Liggins, you own a radio station, you're still not in control of the records that are being played. They will tell you what they want you to play, and 9 times out of 10, if everybody else is playing it and it's charting, you're going to want to play it, because if you don't, then you're not going to get them for your jingle ball or whatever the case may be. And so I'm saying all this to say to you that the idea that the sagging pants came from, jail or gay culture, lies. That's not true at all. That was something that was invented and y'all ran with it. The idea that Jordans are the best sneaker to play ball in, I mean, scientifically, that's been proven to be, a lie.
Right.
But yet and still, you break your neck for Jordans. The fact that you will sit up here and tell me that you woke because you support Colin Kaepernick, when Colin Kaepernick's entire situation for himself, meaning his employment situation, has been about getting a job from a white man and then making sure that white man pays for his discriminatory practices for that job. I'm not talking about his movement. I'm talking about the fact that Cap has been trying to get a job instead of starting his own league. And before you tell me, well, you can't start a league like the NFL, explain Ice Cube and the Big Three then. I'll wait. So when you look at wokeness and you look at, our culture, it is being fed to us. The industry tells you what's cool. You've never had an original thought in your brain about what's been cool. You've been conditioned. Why do you think you go to school? And the same condition they put on you at school is the same conditioning they put on you in prison. Every time you turn on the TV, when we were kids, I guarantee if I start singing a song, you can finish it. I got $10,000 says that you can finish it. Sometimes I dream that he is me. I swear that I wish that's how I dream to be. I dream I move. I dream I groove like
Brother.
Mike. If I could be like Mike, I want to be like Mike. What I said.
Okay, all right.
That's my point. Uh-huh. So if that's what you hear as a child, and then you see a Gatorade commercial, and then you see him jumping from the free throw line, and then you see him with Bugs Bunny, then you associate this man with Americana. You see what I'm saying? Like, everything's been fed to y'all. Y'all wasn't thinking about golf till Tiger Woods came along. Y'all wasn't thinking about tennis till Arthur Ashe came along.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Everything that you think that you are in control of, you're not. Y'all think y'all sitting around watching Love and Hip Hop and you doing Mona Scott a favor? You're doing Mona Scott Young no favors. You're doing favors to the 2 Jewish guys who hired her to be the front of it.
Right.
Like, I mean, use your brain cells here, people. You're being hustled. So you talk about how woke you are, but you don't know how nothing works. All this wokeness, but no workness, huh? Okay. Cool.
Shout out to Kunde Bolden for the super chat. He says his statement is capitalism is needed, but it must be socially conscious. It can't be.
Bingo.
Okay.
No, I don't argue that.
Yeah, he said it can't be a rogue form. Any Negroes talking about capitalism is dangerous or a danger to Black progress.
How are you? I started this conversation off talking about the Revolutionary War to illustrate a point. How are you going to get your independence if you can't finance it? Most of us can't hunt. Most of us can't fish. Most of us actually can't shoot a gun because most of you dumb Negroes shoot guns like this because you saw it on some damn movie financed by some Jewish person who told you that this is how we do it. You can't control the gun like that. Not to mention the recoil is going to go like this. That's why they got shell casings all over the place when you look at the first 48, because some dumbass is shooting like this instead of shooting like this.
Like old dog on Minister Society.
Hey, they killed your cousin. Doing it like a real bitch. I feel sorry for your mother. And I feel sorry for your mother that she didn't raise you smart enough to realize that unless you can control the situation is going to control you. I do what I do So I don't ever have to be beholden to somebody. I don't need somebody telling me I'm too much. I don't need somebody telling me that I need to tone it down. I don't need somebody to tell me when I can see my child. I don't need somebody telling me that I can't go on vacation. I don't need somebody telling me that I gotta miss my kids' volleyball practice or my kids' school play because you need me to work some more or do some things that aren't going to make me money while I become the cog in the wheel of your dreams. Sit your ass down. Talking to me about capitalism being bad. Go home. Log out.
So
You're a
what about, bro?
disgrace.
Like, so you brought up Michael Jordan. Now that's like
Sure.
one of the examples that anti-capitalism will bring up. Well, brother, it's capitalism. Capitalism is evil because brothers are killing each other over J's. Is that
Okay.
Michael's fault? MJ's
Yes,
fault? Or okay, go ahead.
absolutely it is.
Go ahead.
It's Michael Jordan's fault because he knows it and he does nothing. If he started the situation off and didn't know better, that's fine. But then when you become aware of it, when you become conscious of it, and you sit back and you do nothing, I got a problem with it. I will do you one better. Here's why it's black people's fault. I'm going to give you two words. And these two words should answer everything about the conversation, but I'm going to expand anyway. But I'm gonna sit back for 3 seconds before I say anything after I say these two words.
Go ahead.
Stephon Marbury.
Go ahead.
Stephon Marbury
Had his own
said
shoe.
had his own shoes called Starbury, made in the same place that makes Air Force Ones and Jordans. He told you exactly what the Jordans cost. Y'all didn't care.
Right.
He showed you that the shoes were just as good and they were $15, and he was still able to make a 230% profit off of a $15 shoe. But yet and still, y'all poo-pooed them because they was at Stephen Barry's. Y'all poo-pooed them because they didn't have a song written by Nelly and performed with a little dance so that you couldn't get stomping in them like you couldn't get Air Force Ones.
All right.
You are more concerned about what other people think about you who are not sleeping with you, clothing you, or housing you than you are what is best for your financial well-being or your freedom or your family. And as a result of that, it's not just Michael Jordan's fault, it is your fault as well because you're a co-conspirator. And you've allowed this perpetual motion machine to take place since 1987, and you've done absolutely nothing to stop it. And yeah, when's the last time any of you woke hoteps actually went to Nike and demand reparations for the 1,200 people per year on average who get killed? And that's an actual number. 1,200 people on average who get killed for high-end sneakers, the majority of which are Michael Jordans.
Probably no one.
But no one. But y'all want to talk. Y'all want to sit up here and talk to me. Y'all want to talk about Dynasty. You want to talk about me and being a capitalist and this, that, and the third. You ought to be cheering me the hell on as if I'm Bo Jackson, who's running from the All-Star game to the Super Bowl, trying to bring it home. Y'all need to be treating me like I'm Deion Damn Sanders playing two sports and telling Jerry Jones, hey, Jerry Jones saying to him, how much money do you want? 20, 15, 20 mil? And he says both and gets $35 million to play for the Cowboys. But see, y'all won't do that because the last thing you want is somebody with a brain who can actually blow open and turn over the money changing tables of your so-called alleged consciousness. So yeah, that's where that is as far as Jordan and the rest of them go.
Shout out to T Dyer. T Dyer says, I grew up in a household where we were taught the fight is economic. Black people can't say they are conscious and not be trying to make money and control our money. Now, the follow up with that too, you get, again, I think I brought this up earlier. You get a lot of people that say capitalism is a European concept, that we weren't practicing capitalism in Africa before we came in contact with Europeans.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on statements like that?
Okay. So explain Egypt, ancient Egypt. Explain why there are coins and shit found. Why is that? Where did that come from then? Currency is not a new concept, and any way you slice it, if you look in African traditions, just like you look in any other traditions, if you're looking to marry someone, who's the first daughter that gets married off in a family? the oldest. You know
Right.
why the oldest gets married off? The oldest gets married off because she does a lion's share of the work that the mother and the father can't do. Then, in order to replace the losses of the mother and the father, the bridegroom will come with cattle and rubies and myrrh and frankincense and whatever the hell it is, and that is to replace the loss, the financial loss that the family would feel now that she's going to go start off her own family with the bridegroom. So, having said all that, I will say this: y'all are worried about the wrong things
Right.
because I don't and see this idealist woke Negro is the worst kind because they're not backed with any data. Everything they say just comes out of half of a book they read and
Hey, oh, Dave, not to cut you off. Brother in the chat room says you are talking about Egypt, not Kemet. This is what we're dealing with, bro. This is what we're dealing with.
you're talking about Egypt, not Kemet.
This is what we're dealing with, bro.
Bro, if you're talking about Africa, you're talking about a white man any damn way. Because last I checked, Scipio Africanus, who the entire continent is named for, was white. So sit down. Anyway, the point is still the point, and you same woke Negroes are the same ones who are running out here getting diamond engagement rings and falling for something and don't even realize that diamonds are completely worthless. But then you want to talk to me about Africa? Sit down. You sound stupid. Like the you. I don't play the game for the world I wish existed. I play the game for the world that actually exists so that I can create the world I wish existed.
Right.
So yeah, there's that. You talking about Kemet? Man, go burn some incense. I've been to Egypt. You? No? Sit down.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So now, what do we do, brother? That's the question. What do we do, brother? What's next? What
I've
do
said it before. First thing we do is we get rid of our trash. Let me expand. Do you know what white people do with their trash?
throw it away?
No, they put it in trailer parks.
Uh-huh.
They
True.
let it go on Jerry Springer. You know what we do? We
We
start
give it a platform. They get their own TV show.
and we
They get
watch it. Do
right.
you honestly think that Black Youngster has any more lyrical fortitude than Nas?
Hell no.
How did that go twerk? How did they do the twerk? I don't think you could twerk. He's a moron. He's a minstrel. He's a coon. But y'all
Right.
love that. Y'all have got to start throwing your trash away. All of us don't need to be embraced. But see, we're not ready to do. Oh, brother, that's what they do. Da 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 da. That's one. Number two, stop loving them. Do you know what happened yesterday?
What happened?
U.S. News and World Report dropped the top 100 colleges according to their rankings.
Howard was on
And
there.
yeah, I know. Ask me how much that means to me.
How much does that mean to you?
About as much as my last bowel movement.
Oh.
Here's why. Number one, they put their gospel choir out in the middle of the street to sing about it. The U.S. News and World Report. I was like, are you serious?
Oh, say that again. They did what?
Howard University's choir went out into the streets of D.C. singing about the fact that they made it to the top 100 schools. And thank you.
Are you
We
serious?
made it. I swear to God, whatever God you serve, I swear to him too, or her, or it, on everything, on my daughter's life. They went they went on the sidewalk, and they were in their full Howard University robes, and they were singing about making it to the top 100 schools. If you go on my Facebook page, you'll see it. Um, and here's my issue: Then in the song they say, Howard University is the only place to be. And I'm like, okay, if it's the only place to be, and y'all so excited to be on this white man's list, if you're the only place to be, then why ain't you in first place instead of tied for 89th? So I also have a problem with a school that spends its time hiring people who embezzle money
Right.
from students that they're there to serve. I also have an issue because there are boilers that are older than my 72-year-old mother that have not been replaced, where students go to learn and go to sleep.
Dave, we got let's talk about that. You know, I live in Atlanta. I'm down the street from Morehouse and Spelman in
Yes, you
Clark.
are.
If you understood, I mean, if you only knew, you probably do the tuition they pay per month. I mean, per semester or whatever, year, whatever.
Hold on,
And
let me stop you.
and
Let me stop you.
go ahead.
Do you know what $17,972.63 is?
That's probably how much you pay for your daughter. You have
Damn right. You know where she goes?
Where'd she go?
Howard. And when I tell you, from now, from the day I dropped her off at the quad to the day I picked her up, they still didn't put a door on my daughter's closet. But I still paid full cash for that tuition, though. And they made all the promises in the world and didn't deliver. And before we go thinking that I'm bashing HBCUs, I'm not. I'm saying straight up and down that you're not teaching Black people how to thrive and build for themselves. What you're teaching them is how to be accepted in society. You got the business majors running around in suit and ties. I did $27 million in business for my clients this year, and I ain't put on a suit yet. I got to go buy a suit for a wedding this weekend because I throw out my suits every year, or I donate.
Are you going to H&M, Zara, Men's Warehouse?
No,
What?
I got a haberdasher who makes my suits. He's Black.
Okay. Okay. Big money. I'm an H&M guy, Zara.
Ain't nothing in H&M for me unless it's heavy and massive. I'm big. Ain't gonna happen. But my whole point is they're janky. They cut corners. They don't do right by folks. And teaching kids that they need to be in suits and ties every single day, even when it's hot and sweltering on campus, even when it's cold in the winter and wingtips ain't really good for gripping on that concrete or that cobblestone that you love so much. That's not teaching them what it takes to survive and thrive in business. It is teaching them to conform and to be non-threatening to white people. So is this a Black university, or is this another farm to teach Black people how to conform? And anybody can debate me if you want to, but I come from a long line of HBCU graduates. I didn't graduate from one because I had a full ride to Lincoln University, and they told me, well, Mr. Anderson, in your senior year, you'll go over to Temple University to finish out your degree. And I said, why would I do that? And they said, well, because we don't have the facilities that Temple has. And so in your last year, you'll go over there. You'll still graduate from Lincoln, but you'll go over there and finish that. So I just went to Temple.
Right.
Like, I don't give a damn about your free laundry. I want the facilities now. But y'all want to sing and dance. But y'all got kids who lost their tuition, can't pay their tuition, can't even sleep at night because it is cold or too hot, can't even get a damn good meal. But y'all talking about how great Howard is. Sit down somewhere.
Yeah, but the amount of money that parents are paying for tuition at Morehouse, Spelman, and Clark, Atlanta, and you go on campus and it looks worse than a lot of these high schools.
Thank you. Because you're paying for the name. That's it. You're paying for the name. And then you know what happens? Because most of them are taught to do what, they are taught in high school, middle school, and elementary school to do. Go out and get a good job. So then they go and they apply, and then, they have HR departments, and they have machines now that all these resumes and CVs get scanned into. And the second they recognize it as an HBCU, it goes into a circular file. That's why. So when people talk about alumni donations are down, that's because alumni employment is down. But see, we don't want to address that.
Yeah, Darius Lamb says HBCUs need to have higher standards. I'm at an HBCU, and all they do is encourage us to be at corporations, Amazon, Microsoft, Walk, the police department. They telling you to go get a job at the police department?
I'm sorry, say again?
Brother Darius Lamb says HBCUs need to have higher standards. I'm at an HBCU and all they do is encourage us to be at corporations, Amazon, Microsoft, Walk, the police department. Damn, they want you to join the police department. They want you to do
right. But then y'all want to talk to me about being a capitalist, but y'all want to tell these kids to be black cops. Let's look at where cops came from.
Right.
Cops were created after slavery. Because before then, they were militias. Why do you think there's so much talk in the Constitution and the Bill?
Say that one more time. Yeah, I went out. Hello?
Sorry. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, sometimes people call my phone in the middle of an interview.
Oh, you good?
They haven't gotten a message. But anyway, anyhow, cops were created, in order to catch slaves. They were the original slave catchers. And so you can't divorce the root of a thing from the fruit of a thing. So when people talk about, the black people getting killed by cops, yeah, they always were. They were slave catchers. The same way that, when you look at Barbie, when the Mattel family bought the rights to what you now know as Barbie and, renamed her Barbie, and her boyfriend was renamed Ken after the Mattel family's two children, Barbara and Ken. Why do you think you see all these girls out here who look like complete thought bots running around here calling themselves Barbies?
Yeah.
Because Barbie was a comic strip about a prostitute. You can't divorce the fruit of a thing from the root of a thing. It's always going to revert to what it actually is. You ain't going to get a peach tree from an apple seed. It ain't going to happen. So, but y'all want to go work for Microsoft. Go work for Atlanta. Oh, by the way, newsflash, breaking news. I'm just getting this in. Hold on.
Go ahead.
No, wait, breaking. Okay, no. Okay, thanks. See, I just got that from Bob at the news desk. He wanted me to tell y'all that in 20 years, STEM is going to be dead. Sorry. So you're getting your kids all geared up for STEM? Okay, cool. In the 1980s, they were gearing kids up to go to medical school so they could run off and be plastic surgeons. Now plastic surgeons still making $50,000, $60,000 a year, but are $350,000 in debt. You got to start thinking.
I thought plastic surgeons were balling.
No, that's a myth. Very few are balling. Why do you think that? Do me a favor right now.
Go ahead.
Name me without Googling anything. Put your hands up where I can see them. Without Googling anything, name me 10 plastic surgeons. Better yet, I'll take half of that off. Name me 5 plastic surgeons.
Dr. 90210.
And Dr. Miami. That's about all you got. You want to know why you know those two? You know Dr. 90210 and Dr. Miami because they turned their practice into a show and then made it profitable. See, the only way you're going to be a thriver in a mediocre position that's overcrowded is to create a show behind yourself. There's 1,000,001 business coaches, but there's only one business bully. I'm not saying that I'm better than other people. I'm saying that I'm more profitable because I come at this from a different angle and I separate myself from the rest of my quote unquote alleged peers. But black people, man, like this whole, conscious hustle, it kills me because it's a hustle. Because if you was that dope, you'd be making money, and then you wouldn't have to ask for donations like a dime store preacher or a mega church pastor. But we off in the middle of the street singing about U.S. News and World Report. I swear to God, I wish you would find that clip.
Clip from what?
The clip of the damn Howard University choir singing.
I'm gonna look it up. Let me.
It's on my page. Go to my regular Facebook page, the one you and I are friends on.
Right now.
And I want you to read out loud what I said before you play that clip.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, here we go. I have some issues. Let me share the screen real quick. Give me a second so everybody can see this.
Take your time.
All right, here we go. I have some issues with this clip. Are we teaching Black excellence at HBCUs, or are we searching for white acceptance? Why are you singing in the streets about being the only place to be when you're tied for 89th place? We aren't going to talk about the embezzlement that takes place on campus. We got time to make skinning and greening videos, but we don't have time to fix boilers in decades. Old dorms and classroom buildings or put doors on closets so students can have privacy. Why are you thanking people for posting Howard when you know good and well most people, especially white people, aren't going to send Becky and Liam to DC. I demand a recount. All right, let's listen to the song. Hold on, let's load
Mm-hmm.
this up.
Yeah, you gotta run it all the way to the beginning, though, brother. Oh no, yeah, you gotta run that.
Got something to share with you. 1, 2, 3, let's go. U.S. News and World Report. U.S. News and World Report. Has some new news to report. Has some new news to report. U.S. News and World Report. U.S. News and World Report. Has some new news to report. Has some new news to report. They say Howard University. Howard University is the only place to be. It's the only place. They say Howard University. Howard University is the only place to be. It's the only. Why? We made it to the top 100 schools. And we're proud. We proudly represent HBCU. Thank you.
We proudly represent HBCUs. Thank you so much, White Daddy, for recognizing us. Thank you so much. We're tied for 89th place. I remember when I was a kid, I found out that New York Undercover, my favorite TV show.
That was my shit. That was my shit.
No, yeah, here's the thing, though. I found out that New York Undercover was the #1 show in Black households. Then I found out by looking in the Nielsen ratings book that it was 54th among all shows. Is that really something to celebrate?
Hold on. So Living Color was because Living Color. I'm sorry. New York Undercover came on after Living Color on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying it was rated higher than Living Color?
Yes.
It was also out during Martin. Was it out during Martin?
Yeah, the last 2 seasons were, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, because I love when New York Undercover went off the air, I almost had a breakdown. I was like elementary school. I used to love New York Undercover.
But I'm saying, what kind of medal do you give 54th place? Let alone if you tie for 89th.
Acquire comes out and sings for you.
No, Acquire comes out at 89th place.
Okay. Oh, my bad.
54th has to do a little bit better. They probably get a marching band. I don't know. But I mean, y'all saw it. Like, they smiling and U.S. News and World Report. I'm like, no. But the robes was fresh.
Right.
My daughter didn't have a door in her closet, but them robes was fresh.
Fresh as hell.
Super fresh.
Jennifer Williams says, I will stay woke adrift and flying high, still making it and alive, while your thought process will keep you in the realm of being afflicted by materialistic things. Bye-bye. What's this? Where did this idea that if you're woke, you got to walk around barefooted and eat out the trash can? Why are we still pushing this in 2018?
I don't know. You stay woke as you want to. The difference is, right? As woke as you are, when I'm in Forbes, and I've been in Forbes, when I'm in Forbes and I'm at the barbecue joint, you know the similarity to my appearance in Forbes as it is when I show up to the barbecue joint?
What?
They both call me Mr. Anderson. No one knows your name.
Right.
And because no one knows your name, you can't influence anybody. And because you can't influence anybody, you ain't really doing nothing but something. I'm not worried about materialism. That's not why I do this. But see, here's the thing. Y'all love the Clintons, who are Republicans in liberal clothing. You love the Kennedys, who are who are directly descended from bootleggers. You love the Bushes, who were ambassadors and war criminals. You love all of these people who don't love you. And then you love, your little, weed smoking, hibbity dibbity movement that isn't doing anything to move our people forward. Right. Like, where you at, though? Like, you can tell me how woke you are, but how much have you contributed to improving education for our young people. How many book? Where can I get your books?
Amazon.
No, not you.
Oh, my bad. Oh, yeah. Hold on. What's her
Not
name?
you,
What's her name? Hold on. What's her name? Where is she? Where is she?
Jennifer Williams was her name.
Jennifer. Where can we get your books at?
Right.
Just type it in the chat where we could buy your
Send me a link.
Yeah, send me a link. Send us a link where we can buy your books at, Jennifer.
You know?
Thank you. We appreciate it. I will buy a book right now. I will buy one right now. Right now.
Hell yeah.
But since you're against capitalism, don't take my money. In fact, send us the link to where your free book is. Jennifer Williams.
Yeah.
Jennifer, send us the link to where we can find your books.
Right. If you got a book, if she has a book, I'll send this. Listen, if she can give you a link to her book right now, and not Jennifer Williams for Basketball Wives either. If you can give me a link to her book right now, I will give her and a guest of her choosing a stay at one of my partner resorts in Cancun. If in fact she has a book right now,
Jennifer,
start the clock.
Jennifer, we need to look. We need to look the link to the book.
Where the book at, then? Because by my skin watch, it ain't looking good for you. TikTok. Skin watch ticking.
All right, so we'll wait for Jennifer a couple minutes. Produces her.
Guess you don't want to go to Cancun, huh?
Yeah, she don't want to go.
But you woke though. You so woke. You educating your people. What? Would you want a corner or something? Girl, bye. You out there preaching on the corner? Like, what you doing? No. People just don't want the truth, Dynast. They don't. They want to sit around here.
Why are they so? Why can't they handle the truth?
Here's what it is.
They can handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. Like,
a lot of truth.
Handle it.
As long as the truth doesn't interfere with their hustle. As long as the truth does not require them to do anything. As long as the truth does not require them to speak truth to power, or as my daddy would say, God rest his soul, put their money where their mouths are. They don't want to do that though. But they'll sure enough go and buy that weave. They'll sure enough get that lace front. You know, they'll sure enough keep up with the Kardashians. They'll sure enough buy them sneakers and then talk to me about their capitalism. You know. Okay. I'm just confused.
It's like that. We have adults, grown adults who are just intellectually mental midgets and delusional. Yeah.
You got to remember, man, if you're forced to think, then you have to come to some level of admission. Right. You have to admit that you've been living a lie, and that you have aided and abetted in your own demise. And most people ain't ready to swallow that pill.
It's unfortunate, Dave. It's very unfortunate. Let's see what else we got in your chat room. Somebody called me and you agents. We're agents.
Oh, how am I an agent? And please stop quoting Tariq Nasheed like you know the man, because if you knew anything about me, you know I've written books with Tariq. So how you gonna call me an agent when Tariq does what I do? Sit down. Next question. I can do this all day.
Yeah, people said we have an agenda.
I sure enough have an agenda. If more black people had an agenda, maybe we get some things to pass. You know what my agenda is? Getting these checks.
Mine too.
That's it. So I can help people, because broke people can't help nobody.
Right.
See, here's the thing. Everything you need to understand about what black people need to do when it comes to living and surviving in a capitalist society can be summed up in the 2 minutes that take place right before you take off on an airplane. See, you got to know how to get out. That's one. So they tell you where the exits are, and they actually show you where the lighting is in order to find the exit so that you can find the quickest way out. They also tell you that under your ass, that cushion can be used as a flotation device, because most of y'all ain't take time to learn how to swim. Right. So that means you need to get up off your ass in order to get that cushion. That's two. The third thing they tell you is, if in fact there's a drop in cabin pressure, oxygen mask will descend from the ceiling. Now, before you put one on somebody else, make sure your mask is secure, which brings me to my point. If I don't have any money, How the hell am I going to give you what I don't have to give? Not only that, where's my
Go ahead.
where's my agenda when I started Black Boys Win, and most of y'all were quiet on the set, or I go and I do interviews and they're asking me about what about Black women, but my good friend Beverly Bond has a thing called Black Girls Rock, and y'all having awards on BET, y'all having concerts, t-shirts, no issue. But the last thing you want is an empowered, educated Black man, but then y'all the same sisters running around here talking about Black men ain't shit. I don't see you nowhere. But then you complain about, kids out here robbing you. But then when I'm trying to create something that will keep kids from robbing you because they won't feel desperate, because they will feel like men, because they're able to provide for themselves and their families, y'all got something to say. But I didn't see your program to supplement this bullshit education that has an agenda that is programming our youth. I didn't see that. I don't see you out here feeding the homeless. I don't see you doing anything other than running your mouth. What have you done? Show me your receipts.
They have none.
Okay, because you run around here calling me an agent, not realizing that me and Tariq Nasheed are friends. That blows my mind, which tells me you don't even know who you're dealing with. Which tells me that you would rather just dribble off some point you heard on a podcast from someone you've never spent time with, breathed air of, worked with, toured with, nothing. But you bought a Hidden Colors DVD, so you think you've done something.
Right.
Y'all don't know that man from a hole in your ass. And when he's talking about agent, he's talking about people who are upsetting the movement. But see, the thing about that is, when Tariq did the first Hidden Colors, he raised the funds on Kickstarter. Every one of those movies was funded by well-meaning Black folks who wanted to get alternative education out. Now, whether you agree with Hidden Colors or you don't agree with Hidden Colors, you got to agree with the fact that he made sure that he had his Black people fund his projects. So, if by your definition you have an issue with capitalism, then you have an issue with Tariq. And if you have an issue with Tariq, then you shouldn't be calling people agents, because that's his line. So which side of the fence are you on? Okay, cool. Sit down.
They don't know. They don't know. They don't.
Sound stupid.
They don't know. They don't know. Brother, I know you're busy and all that.
Oh no, I got time, bro. This is my day off.
Okay.
So when you set your schedule, you can do what you want. I'm good until the wife comes in from dress shopping.
Okay, what we'll do, we'll ask a couple more questions. Let's see what we got here in the chat room. Anyone else with any other questions? We just got a bunch of just trolls. Capitalism equals the reason African Americans live in North America. Goodness.
Why aren't you in Africa then? Why aren't you back in Africa then? Why haven't you gone to Liberia, even though Liberia is war-torn and most of the Liberians are coming back here? Why ain't you in Africa then?
Right.
I don't understand that talk. Not to mention, to call yourself an African American in and of itself shows how fake woke you are. I'm Black. I'm not an African American. Here's why. Charlize Theron is an African American.
True.
I don't want any term that white people can co-opt or qualify themselves as. And I don't see white people who live in China calling themselves Chinese.
Nope. Expats. They're expats.
Exactly. So, again, I invite you to have several seats. Come on, y'all got to dig deeper, do better. At least make it challenging. Give me some statistics. Give me something I can't refute.
They can't do that. They don't have it.
Cool.
You
came to a gunfight not realizing that I got a nuclear weapon. Come on, man. I'm working every day.
They can't do it. They can't do it. It's unfortunate.
Want to troll.
So your thoughts on reparations?
My thoughts on reparations is that they need to happen immediately. Should have happened.
Now, let me ask you this. I think it's odd. Now, do you think the woke equals broke crew, should they get reparations?
No, because that's a capitalistic devil white man's money. And they don't want that. Oh no, they don't want that. No, they should give their cut to Bernie Sanders since they love him so much.
Right.
Like, get the fuck out of here. And let me let y'all know something else, because y'all don't do no research. You know how I said that, when Malcolm X said that he wanted to work with white people, they offed him? You know how I said that when Martin Luther King started poking his nose in the Vietnam War and saying that black people need to unionize, or that he felt like he was integrating his people into a burning building? Johnny Cochran, in around 2004, 2005, was going to file suit against the federal government to get all black people reparations, and then Johnny Cochran, picture of health, just mysteriously died.
Right.
You can Google that. But yeah, y'all don't even understand that there are reparations on the books for us, but y'all ain't going to lawyer up. Y'all ain't going to try and go get them.
Shout out to LAR Movement in the chat room. Thank you, brother, for joining us. That's good people.
But no, I think reparations needs to happen because we built this country. Not the Chinese, not the Jewish people, not the Europeans. We built this country. This is more our country than it's theirs. Go read Before the Mayflower. Go read They Came Before Columbus. This is our country. Then you're not going to talk about the Native Africans that were here, that they took back to Africa and then brought back so that they can say they brought some African slaves in here. Yeah, I mean, we can do this all day. Y'all hit
me. As far as Black Americans, how do you feel? And this will be the last question. I got to take my son. Got to take him somewhere, and then we could close out. Land infrastructure nationhood. How do you feel about that? Black people here in America having their own land infrastructure and nationhood.
Works for the Mormons, don't it? Until such time. See, here's the thing. Let me ask you a question. Where are you located right now? You're in Atlanta, right?
I'm in Georgia. Yes, sir.
What part? You in Buckhead? You in Cobb County? Where you at?
I'm in the West End.
Okay, you're in the West End. Cool. So let me ask you, in America, where's the Black community?
We don't have one.
No, but we keep saying it. Well, the Black community this and the Black community that. Do you consider me a Black man? I'm asking you personally. Do you consider me a Black man?
Absolutely.
Okay. My home is in a community that doesn't have that many Black people in it. Not because I wanted to move away. It's just the place that I bought, when I finally got myself together. It's a family home that I inherited and took over payments for because, we supposed to leave stuff to our children.
Correct.
How that works, but I digress. But I'm out here focusing on my people. So am I the Black community? If so, why isn't that there's a land state? Because you can go to any major city in America. There's a Little Italy. There's a Chinatown. Where's Brothertown at?
Don't have it.
No, but we got the hood everywhere. And I'm so hood. We got songs written by Israeli people talking about I'm so
hood. I keep
listen.
My neck, shoot somebody. Yeah.
Love Khaled to death. Khaled's a friend. But Khaled ain't Black.
He's the best.
Khaled ain't Black. But we're celebrating hood.
And somebody said we got Black Twitter.
I tried to give y'all Black Twitter. Y'all ain't want it. Before there was Periscope, there was a thing called Meerkat. Before there was Meerkat, there was my company. It was called Hang With. Black people didn't want that. They wanted Periscope. And we were going to sell to a certain, a certain social media giant. But that social media giant decided to just start doing live video itself. And you can fill in the blanks there. So my whole thing is this. Y'all love Black Twitter, but it's not our thing. It's still on somebody else's platform. We never control the means of production. We revel in the means of consumption. So we need to own our own. We need to have our own. We need to be policed by our own. But we won't do that because we love them too much and we're addicted to their attention and their acceptance. 26 Emmys Black people were nominated for last night. We won 3. Black people still ain't had enough. Black people will never break off from white people because they love them too much.
Oscar's so white. Oscar's so white.
Oscar's so white, Emmy's so white. Why are you still worrying about their awards?
Right.
I would rather have a McDonald's 365 Black Award.
But you know what happened, Dave?
Mm.
People that you will award the award to won't show up.
No.
But listen, but will show up to the red carpet at the Emmys and Grammys and the Oscars,
Right.
not even nominated for an award.
No. Because they want to sit up there and sing U.S. News and World Report. Like, that's what they want to do. They want to be seen by white people. That's it. We want to be seen, loved, admired, and respected by white people. And we want to make sure the white people know that we's not like them revolutionary Negroes over there. We's not like them uppity Negroes over there. We's not like that capitalist Dave Anderson. I just don't know who he thinks he is.
Right.
Bunch of coons, man. And that's why I said we need to get rid of our trash. All the coons, all the fake hoteps, all the people who ain't got no solutions, no agendas, ain't doing nothing to help the cause. All these fake ass churches, all these fake ass preachers, we need to throw them all off somewhere and be like, you are not with us. Moses drew a line in the sand. Black people ain't ready to do that. And you know what happened when Moses drew a line in the sand? Everybody that was on Moses' side was instructed to kill everybody who wasn't. But you know, we ain't gonna do that. We rather ride around for 40 years in the damn desert,
right,
begging for manna from heaven. You better get your manna right here. You better start tilling your mill and getting your bread. Heaven ain't coming. You gotta make your heaven. Y'all rather die to get some fictional heaven while white folks live their heaven, Chinese people live their heaven, Jewish people live their heaven. My baby right now is sitting in my eyesight, sleeping her little head off. That's my heaven. I'm in my sweats every day, not having to put a noose around my neck and call it a tie. That's
I want you to, Master, come here. Come here, Master. Come say hello to Mr. Anderson. Come say hello.
Hello.
Now, come
hello.
Come say hello. Come here. Come say hello.
Hello.
Say hello to Mr. Anderson.
Hello.
All right.
How are you, sir?
Hello.
Hello.
No, my bad. All right.
You spit that boy out, didn't you?
Yeah.
Spit him out.
Yeah, brother. But man, brother Anderson, I appreciate you coming on. Anything you want to share in closing, and also how can people reach you and contact you and buy your books and all that good stuff?
Absolutely, man. My website is businessbullyshow.com, and you can text 2 words, business bully, to 31996. You know, I'm everywhere. You know, anybody needs to find me. Everything can be found between those 2 things. Business bully to 31996, or go to businessbullyshow.com. It's that simple. As far as what I want to leave y'all with, start being more active on something other than social media. Meet your people. Stop being afraid of your own people. Start rejecting nonsense. Stop consumerism. See, consumerism is more dangerous to black people than capitalism is. You want to know what I know? A few months ago, Byron Allen bought the Weather Channel.
Right.
Byron Allen is the corniest comedian in the history of comedians, black or white. He's
stop the show. So because people keep calling him a comedian, was he really a comedian?
Yes, yes, he was.
So he had to stand up
Yes, he was. Byron Allen was a comedian. He was a character actor. You know, his mom was in television. Like Byron Allen, he was a smart dude, but he realized, hey, I'm in a time where you got Cosby, Pryor, Murphy's coming up. I ain't gonna be that dude. But what I can do is I can do these little shows. I can start interviewing these people. I can start building my stuff up. And he started moving really smart. He had a Byron Allen production company. And then he realized if people realize who's behind this, they're not going to support it. So he created entertainmentstudios.com. And you didn't see his face.
Right.
And by the time you realize what he had done, he amassed $1 billion. And then the next thing you know, he went and bought the Weather Channel, and then Hurricane Florence hit. And then he spent tens of millions of dollars creating that technology to show you the effects of a hurricane. And it's all anybody could talk about. But see, y'all don't want Byron Allen. Y'all want Black Youngster. They get the twerk. The wicked the twerk.
Right through the hood. Get it good. Yeah.
Get up. Trap music, because you trapped.
Yeah.
So there it is, man. I appreciate you having me, and thank you so much for the opportunity. And you know, I hope some woke people actually woke up for the first time.
I hope so too, man. Brother Intrinsic Value, he greatly appreciates you. So I mean, brothers love when you come on, man. I appreciate it. I just got a lot more trolls. As the platform gets bigger, more trolls come. So I'm doing something right.
Yes.
So
Yes, indeed. Bring on the trolls. I need more trolls. Send them my way. I need all the trolls.
yeah, so everyone, you have Brother Anderson's link to his site, his social media, so you are more than welcome to troll him that way as well.
Come on, troll me.
Hey, spread the troll love, please. Spread the troll
I
love.
need all the trolls. Send in the trolls. Where are the trolls?
The refrigerator.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna get you the candy. I'm almost done. Let me close out, okay? Thank you. Master runs the house, so everyone.
He wants the candy. He's gonna run that candy.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you go to Search for Huru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Also go to searchforhuru.com, dynastymirror.com, and amazon.com. Search for Dynasty Mirror. Until next time, family. Brother Anderson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Peace.